Hi everybody, this is Becky, Sunshine Girl 07. That's the name of my channel. I don't know why I chose that name, but anyway, I'm stuck with it. But anyway, welcome to my channel. And today is the second part to my life update, and it's about strokes. And I wanted to discuss with you the different symptoms of strokes, and they're not all the same. So you can be aware in case it happens to you or to someone that you love. And I want to make this video really quick. But anyway, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a professional on this. What I know is because of what I observed when my brother had them, and that is why I want what I want to share with you. The first one that he was his speech was slurred. He was talking slow, and he has some loss of balance on his right leg. That was the first one that he had, and I knew right away it was a stroke. The second one that he had some months later, he had numbness at the left arm and part of the left cheek. Okay, so that was a different sign. The follow one that he had after that, he lost of balance. He couldn't stand, he couldn't walk. He would stand like this and he would be wobbling like that. He had to grab to something because he would fall. His legs would shake. They would start shaking. So I said, we gotta go to the hospital. Let's see what it is. He was also sick, so he had like a virus too. So they thought he was sick with the flu or something. It wasn't COVID, but they thought it was the flu. They did an MRI. They said, no, it's not a stroke, and he thought, well, I was just sick. But a few days later, he was still having the same symptoms. His legs would shake, he had no balance, he couldn't walk. And so, but his doctor called him like 4 days later to tell him, you know what, they went over the MRI the following day, because we took him at night. That's when it happened, at night. And the following day, when they really started the MRI, it showed that he did have strokes. And not just one, but two, one on each side of his brain. That was something. He was upset, devastated. It was really hard for him. Okay, he began to recuperate from that. And on September 18th, on my birthday actually, he had another one, and with that one he lost his balance. He was in the restroom when he cried out for help, and his son and I we ran to the restroom to see what was going on, and he was holding on like this to the towel rack, and he said, I can't move, my legs are not responding, they're like numb, I can't move, they're shaking. And he was just like this holding on, and he told me later on that his arm was also shaking. She was afraid of falling, and it was scary. And I told him, you know, it's kind of dangerous to hold on to a towel rack, because if you pull hard enough, you can pull it out off the wall, and really fall on your back. Thank God that didn't happen. So his son helped him to the living room. He had to help him get on the wheelchair. He rolled him to the living room, and we called the paramedics again. He went back to the hospital. It was another stroke. I think it was here in the frontal here. Whatever that's called, the frontal hemisphere of the brain, whatever that's called. He from that one, he ended up in rehab, and he really didn't recuperate from that. He came back from rehab. He could not walk by himself. I think I mentioned it last time. He needed help going to the bathroom. My nephew had to wheel him to the restroom, and from the restroom wheel him to the room and everything like that. And someone had to come to help him take a shower. He couldn't do that anymore by himself. So he couldn't, there was times when he would forget a word. I mean, he could speak sentences clearly, but sometimes he would forget a word, he would get frustrated, and then he would have to really think about it and think of a similar word so we could understand what he was trying to say. But anyway, he was here, and then he started with the last one. He started to have a headache, and that headache lasted 3 whole days. And we were concerned when the headache started, and he was also very congested. So I bought him some Vicks Vapor Rub to help him with that congestion. We called the nurse at Kaiser Permanente, and she said that because of his stroke history, she was concerned. But she said, give him Tylenol, up to 3,000 milligrams of Tylenol a day, which we did. And you know what? It just didn't take away the headache completely. He kept complaining about it. But the third day, I told him, look, this is not normal. I don't think it's a sinus thing. It could be something else. You need to go to the hospital. He didn't want to go, but we convinced him, you have to go. His speech therapist came, and he did his therapy, but he wasn't feeling well. He didn't have appetite that day either. He was sitting like this, holding his head. And she cut it short. She told him, you're clearly not feeling well. They just cut it short. And he told me it still hurts, so I told him, you have to go to the hospital. He finally agreed to go. And yeah, it was another stroke, and it was in the back of his head, down here. And they were all different. Every single stroke that he had were not the same. All the symptoms were different, okay? And that's what I want to share with you. That if you're experiencing anything like that, that is not normal, things that last, please go to the emergency room. Don't wait it out. Don't say, oh, it'll go away. No, you go, because your life may depend on it. And you will be in how fast you can recuperate, or if you can recuperate at all. If you have a loved one having those symptoms and they say, I don't want to go, please try to convince them as hard as you can that they need to go. It makes a difference. It does make a difference if you go quickly to the ER and then they know he has these symptoms or she has these symptoms, or you do. Anyway, that's what happened. And so my mother also had one, and that was years prior. And I was there when she had it. And hers was totally different too. She was just talking normal, but she was confused. She totally got confused of where she was, but where she was going. And we noticed how confused she was. And I said, because I knew the signs, I had watched the commercials about it on TV. You know, back in the day, like 10 years ago, they would put it on TV. You had these symptoms, it probably is a stroke. And I remember watching that on TV. And when I saw her acting that way, I was like, Mom, you're having a stroke. We have to take you to the ER. She didn't want to go. But we finally convinced her to go, and she went. She had what they call, I think, ischemic one. It's one that is a quick one. It goes, but it doesn't do permanent damage, and then it's gone. And so after that, they put her on some kind of blood thinner tube that she had to take to make sure she didn't get any more strokes. She was also watching her cholesterol and all that stuff. And my brother, we don't know why he had them and why so many. They couldn't figure it out. The doctors were as frustrated as we were, because they did their best. I was very angry with them because I wanted to figure out why does he keep having them when all the lab work come back normal. And they couldn't figure it out. Everything was inconclusive or negative. Anyway, only God knows why. I think he's the only one who knows. He's in a better place. He was ready to go. He was ready with the Lord, and that's where he's at. But like I said, like I shared, all the symptoms were not the same. Not all strokes are the same. They all affected different parts of his body. I have a co-worker that she told me that her husband had a stroke, that it was a scary one. His was totally different. He started with a backache. He couldn't bend down. He couldn't stand up. He had to sit down, and he couldn't move. And it turned out to be a stroke. So as I said, I don't know if there are any more symptoms, but you know, something is different. Something has not happened to you, is new to you or to a loved one. Consider it bad, and please go to the ER. These are the ones that I know, that I'm aware of, because of my brother, my mother, and my coworker who had her husband had that symptom. Okay, so I wanted to share that with you. If I could help you, I'm glad to help you. I hope that you never go through anything like that. It's devastating and it's really hard. But you know, things happen, and we should prepare for that. If you're mourning a loved one, I understand you completely. Remember, it's okay to cry. Sometimes we need to cry, and it helps. But you're not alone. Surround yourself with people who care and love you. And remember that life goes on, and you're still here, and you have to live your life. But when you feel like crying, go ahead and do it. If you miss them, and that's why you're crying, it's because you love them and because they loved you. And cherish that. You love them and they love you, and you're alive. That is why it hurts. Okay, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this helps you and it finds you well. Until next time, this is Becky. I'll see you next time. God bless you.